Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Now I am going to describe one important module in digital electronics, and that is programmable logic devices. In short, they are called as PLDs. To know about PLDs, we have to go back into history of electronics. Electronics from 1940s till today, if you see, has evolved like anything. Earlier, vacuum tube diodes and triodes were used. Then they were replaced by solid state transistors and diodes. Then they were replaced by integrated circuits. Then afterwards microprocessors came, then microcontrollers came, and the process is still evolving. So if you go back to a stage when the ICs came into existence, particularly after the year 1950 or so, you will find that the electronics has changed radically. Major change that has occurred is in the size. Earlier sizes of the electronic components were very big, and after invention of ICs, the sizes of the electronic components and instruments have reduced drastically. This is essentially because of integrated circuit. As the name suggests, the circuits are integrated on a single semiconductor chip. ICs have ruled electronics for a very long period of time. Then they were fastly replaced by the devices called as the programmable logic devices. Actually, that is the second change into the electronics field. First, of course, was when ICs came, and now second when these PLDs are come. Let's see what is the effect of PLDs onto the electronics field. As the name suggests, these devices are programmable. Earlier devices were fixed function ICs or non-programmable ICs. ICs were manufactured by the manufacturers with some logic function fitted inside them, and that function could not be changed by the end user. But when the PLDs came into market, then the user had a choice to incorporate any function that he wants into these ICs, meaning he was programming the ICs as per his requirement, and the trend continued for a very long time and is continuing even today. We would like to know PLDs in details. So let's go into the structure of these PLDs. The learning objectives of this module are as below: to understand the new technology called as PLD. PLD stands for basically the programmable logic devices. Let's know in details about the PLDs. So for that, we have to talk about the basic concepts of PLD. Then after learning that, one can explore the different types of PLDs available in the market and extensively used in electronics field. Let's have introduction to PLDs. As I said, before PLDs, the most popular devices were using the fixed function ICs, and that was available in a TTL logic family. It's very popular, it was very popular, but I think it will not be very popular, and this series is 74 series. It was dominating over the world, but today it's not at all used. Actually, it is outdated. Still, we in India use it for educational purposes only. Today, there are hardly any applications where these ICs are used. As I said, it's only used today in the educational field to understand the basic concepts of digital electronics. Actually, we want to know about PLDs, but we cannot know about PLDs without knowing these ICs. So, learning about PLDs starts with stepping stone of the fixed function ICs available in the logic family of 74 series. Now they are being replaced by PLDs. In PLD, the logic function is programmed by the user. The manufacturer does not incorporate any logic function into these ICs. So, if the user wants, he can program the device as per his requirement, and in some of the PLDs, these ICs can be programmed number of times. This has got a great advantage. If the application is implemented using PLDs, then the modifications can be done very easily. Earlier this was not possible. When fixed function ICs were used, there was hardly any scope for the user to change the function associated with that ICs. Therefore, PLDs have overruled or outdated fixed function ICs. Once you start using PLDs, you should know each and everything about PLDs and how to program them. For programming them, you have to use software. Computer is required for that, and a person needs to know details about the hardware description language. In short, it is called HDL. There are different types of HDLs, but most popular ones are VHDL and Verilog. These languages are used for programming these ICs. So, once you buy the PLD from the manufacturer, you need to have software and the add-on units at your place so that these ICs can be programmed. Obviously, it is used in educational field for projects, but today in the industry, it is used extensively. A very big electronic circuit like central processing unit or microcontroller can also be incorporated by programming PLD. If you want to know details about PLDs, then you should know what are the types of PLDs. There are basically three types of PLDs. One is SPLD, that is Simple Programmable Logic Device. Second one is Complex Programmable Logic Device, in short CPLD. And third one is FPGA, that is Field Programmable Logic Device. Actually, it is Field Programmable Logic Array, that is why the short form FPGA. If you want to know the constituents of these programmable logic devices, let me tell you that there are two types of constituents or two constituents. One is the OR array and the other one is the AND array. Combination of this with the facility of programmability gives PLD. Let's start with OR array. The circuit diagram is as shown there. In the diagram, there are three OR gates. The outputs are x1, x2, x3, and the input is only A. There are parallel lines going to these OR gates, and there is one vertical line connecting the input, and there are crosses at the cross sections. These crosses, they basically indicate that there will be either a connection or there will be no connection, and this will be done by the user. So, user is going to program it, and this structure is actually before programming structure. After programming, of course, the structure will be different. So, this is only one A input. Let us go ahead. One more input is added to it, that is the complement of the earlier input, and again it's vertical, crosses are there, indicating that these are also programmable. It is expanding in the sense one more input is added to it, and that input is B. Again there is a vertical connection, crosses are there, B also can be connected selectively wherever it is required. Its complement, that is B dash, is connected with the help of the vertical wire. Now you can see that it is forming a grid consisting of horizontal and the vertical connections, and the cross points are the places where programming is to be carried out. So, once you carry out the programming, these cross points will be replaced by either the open connections or by the short connections. So, this is the basic structure that the manufacturer provides to the user in the form of the OR array. Suppose using this OR array you want to implement some equations. Implement meaning you are going to put these equations into that particular IC. Take for example 3 expressions, A or B, A dash or B dash, A or B dash. Let us go step by step. Now, in this connection you want to implement the expression A or B. So, A is selected on the vertical line and rest of the connections are made open. So, this connection that you make sometimes is called as a fuse, meaning you are fusing the connection between the horizontal and the vertical wire. So, sometimes this is also called as the fuse technology. You can have an anti-fuse technology also, where initially the manufacturer will provide open connection and you will do short onto it as per your requirement. You will do meaning you will program it accordingly. So, if you see these two connections, it obviously implements the expression A or B, which was the first expression that we have taken. Similarly, if you go for the next expression, that is A dash or B dash, meaning the complements of A and B are taken and they are connected to the inputs of the OR gate. So, obviously rest of the cross connections are made open and only the cross points where A dash and B dash are coming, there the fuses are implemented, or rather the connections are done. After these connections, obviously at the output of the second OR gate you will get the expression A dash or B dash. OR is important because this is OR array. Here in this particular place you got A and B dash, rest all are made open. So, the expression that is implemented is A or B dash. Say this is a sort of implementing the integrated circuit on a chip. If you want to do the same thing by using the fixed function ICs, then you will require 3 NOT gates and 3 OR gates, plus you will require a circuit board, plus soldering will be required. But here circuit board will not be required, soldering will also not be required. Directly you are going to put the expressions into the IC. If you want to summarize then this OR gate consists of an array of OR gates connected to the programmable matrix with the links at each cross points of a row and a column. It is programmed by blowing the fuses. This eliminates the rest of the connections and maintains only the required connections. Each OR gate will have only one fuse left intact. The rest of the fuses will be made open. Once the fuse is blown, it can never be reconnected. There are now certain ICs where this is possible. This is the second important constituent of PLDs, and it is AND array. The structure is more or less similar to that of the OR array. Only difference is that instead of OR gates, the AND gates are used. So, here input A is connected to different horizontal lines with the help of the crosses or fuses, you can say. Its complement, that is A bar, is connected to all the inputs of the AND gates. Next input, that is B, is connected to the different gates, different AND gates obviously, and its complement is connected next. So, this basically is the structure, having a matrix of horizontal and the vertical rows and the columns, and the connections are done to 3 AND gates. The 3 AND gates have the outputs as x1, x2 and x3. Let us assume that using this AND gate we want to implement certain expressions, and the expressions are similar ones, x1, x2, x3. Instead of OR operation, AND operation is put. So, we would like to implement A and B, A bar and B bar, and A and B bar. So, that structure can be implemented as below. So, in this particular slide you can see that only A and B are connected as the inputs to the AND gate. Rest of the connections are made open or the fuses are blown. Dots they indicate the connections after programming. Before programming, the connections are cross, meaning possibility of programming. Here the second expression is implemented. In this expression, you are selecting A dash and B dash. Rest of the connections are made open or remote. Here the third expression is implemented. It has got two inputs A and B dash, rest of the inputs are remote. So if you look at this structure, you will find that after programming, it implements the three expressions that you wanted. After learning about these basic arrays, that is AND array and the OR array, let's try to obtain programmable logic devices using them. They are the basic constituents of programmable logic devices. But before I do that, let me tell you, if you want to do the same thing by using the earlier technology, that is the fixed function IC technology, then it would have taken a lot of time. In particular, if the same expressions are to be implemented by using IC technology, it would have taken at least 8 days, sometimes more also, because the process is very lengthy. It needs to have a printed circuit board, it needs to do soldering, and plus there are problems also after making them, troubleshooting is there. So if you use this PLD technology, all those steps are removed. Instead, you need to only program all these devices by using a computer, which is perfect device to program such programmable logic devices. Let's understand how these arrays are used to obtain programmable logic devices. As I said, there are many types of programmable logic devices, but the basic one is SPLD. The other ones are CPLD and FPGA. They are of course complicated, but let's start with SPLD. SPLDs are of 4 types. The very basic one is PROM, that is programmable read only memory. PROM was existing earlier also, so sometimes people don't think that this is a PLD. If you implement it by using the earlier technology, then it is PROM. But if you implement it using the programmable technology, then you can call that as a PLD. So what I think is PROM is also a type of a SPLD. Let's go for the next one. Next one is PLA, Programmable Logic Array. It's an array where the programmable concept is existing. In fact, all devices are programmable. There are differences in their structures. Let's go for the next one. Next one is PAL, Programmable Array Logic. There is a difference between PLA and PAL. We shall see it later on. And the last type of SPLD is Generic Array Logic, GAL. As the name suggests, it is generic. In the sense, using it, you can obtain the earlier 3 devices like PROM, PLA, PAL also. So GALs today are very popular. All these 4 types of devices basically use a combination of AND array and the OR array. As per the requirement, these arrays are programmable or not programmable, or there is a flexibility in designing them. Let's go for the first one. The first one is programmable read only memory. You can see this structure. It has got the number of inputs and it has got the number of outputs, and then there are 2 blocks. These 2 blocks basically they represent AND and the OR arrays, and there are buffered connections at the input and the output. So those symbols they basically implement or use the buffered connections. Let us see how these blocks are filled up. The first is fixed and array, and the second block is fixed or array. As these two are fixed, nothing is programmable. In the sense, when the manufacturer manufactures it, you buy it, you program it, and the program remains into this. Once the program is loaded, you are going to only read from this particular memory. That is why it is called read only memory, and it is programmable because you have programmed it as per your requirement. The most important software exists into read only memory. For example, the operating system or the monitor program of the computer or a microprocessor or microcontroller unit resides into this particular memory. So, this is very important memory, and it is a type of a programmable logic device. As it is a memory, fixed and array is also called as the address decoder, and OR array is called as the memory. Whatever content you want to access from the memory, its address is given as the input and the content is available at the output. This finds many applications. As I said, it contains your basic programs like monitor program or the operating systems. Let us go for the examples of PROM. Actually, there are many ICs available in the market which can be configured as PROM or which can be used as the PROM. Some of the examples are 28C64, 28C256, 28C010. It gives you basically the capacity of the memory. You can have 128 K byte by using 28C010. Actually, these numbers, they mean there is certain code used for interpreting the memory content of this, and it consists of fixed and array and fixed or array. Therefore, it is read only memory, and therefore, it is a simple programmable logic device called as the PROM. You can see this particular IC is available as a DIP package with only 20 pins, and see it has got a capacity of 8K byte. So, you can imagine in such a small space this type of memory is obtained. Obviously, with the other technology it would have taken a very large space, and probably people were using memory banks for such applications. 8K today is nothing, but once upon a time it was a very big thing, and when it was incorporated by using such IC, it gave very lot of importance. So, the next type of SPLD is PLA. Look at its structure. It is different than PROM. Here both the arrays are programmable. So, programmability is increased in this PLA. So, it proved very useful compared to PROM. Let us see applications of PLA. One of the most important IC manufactured as PLA was by Signetics, and its name or number was 82S100. It was introduced in 1974. It was very popular that time. It had 16 inputs, 8 outputs, and if you see the number of fuses in it, the number is very large. For example, in AND array there are 1536 fuses, and in OR array there are 384 fuses. So, with such a complexity, this particular IC is programmed very easily. It is normally called as FPGA. It stands for Field Programmable Logic Array. It means the IC will be programmed in the field, that is by the user. It was not programmed by the manufacturer. This IC has changed electronics to a very large extent. Earlier, when the gamesware came in the form of CDs, not CDs, in the form of cassettes, these ICs were used very extensively. This is the third type of simple programmable logic device, SPLD. It is called Programmable Array Logic, in short PAL. Again the structure is same: inputs, outputs, 2 gates, AND array and OR array, and the buffered connections. But here the AND array is programmable, but OR array is fixed, exactly opposite to PROM. Anyway, this IC also was proved to be very useful. It has less programmability because OR gate is fixed and only AND gate needs to be programmed. PAL examples are interesting. These were used extensively earlier in electronics technology. Numbers are very peculiar. First 3 words are PAL, next 2 digits are number of inputs, then type of the PAL device, for example LCP, and the next number was the number of outputs. This type of device was used even by using the TTL technology or by ECL technology. If it is implemented by ECL technology, it proved to be very faster. But remember, it is one time programmable. Because the programmability is less, you can program it only once. You cannot reprogram it. If the concept changes or the application changes, this IC needs to be replaced by another IC. Example of PAL16L8. It is a 28 pin IC, but it has got 16 inputs, 8 outputs, and some of the pins are multiplexed, meaning they can work as the input and the output. This IC needs to be programmed and used properly. With a very small space on the circuit board, a lot of applications were implemented by using PAL. Last type of SPLD is generic array logic, GAL. It's like generic medicines. You can obtain different medicines from it. So, using this you can obtain all other types of SPLDs also. And here, if you see the programming concept, it is tremendous. You got a programmable AND array, you have a fixed OR array, but there is an output logic which is programmable. So, maximum programmability is possible using GAL, and therefore GAL finds lot of applications in industrial and other applications. See the examples, names are same. First 3 characters give you the type of the device, next 2 digits give the number of inputs, then there is a type of the device or type of the outputs you can say, and then the number of outputs. This IC is used by using a CMOS technology, and particularly you can use E-square CMOS technology, that is electrically erasable CMOS technology. This is also called as a floating gate technology. Floating gate technology is the one where it allows the IC to be used number of times, and erasing and rewriting is very easy using this technology. So, this IC has proved to be ultimate in the field of SPLD. So, in this module we started with the concept of PLD and the difference between the fixed function ICs and the programmable logic devices. Basically, PLDs use AND array and the OR array. It has replaced fixed function ICs forever. There are certain types of PLDs. We will discuss them in details. Basically, there are 4 types of PLDs. One is PROM, second one is PLA, third one is PAL, and the last one is GAL. Basically the structures of these ICs are same. Only thing is their programmability or the ability to program these ICs changes from one to the other one. PROM is very important IC. It is used extensively in all the applications where some kind of memory is required. For example, suppose there is some device and you want to display add-on message, PROM can be easily used for displaying it. Ultimate is GAL. GAL can be used to obtain any programmable logic device. That is why it is generic. It can be expanded. You can find a lot of applications using GAL. SPLD further can be combined together and a device like CPLD can be obtained. CPLD stands for Complex Programmable Logic Device. Particularly CPLD has got the SPLDs varying from 2 to 8, sometimes more also. CPLD can be used to implement a very complex function like a central processing unit or your microcontroller or microprocessor or any other processor that you can think of. With slight modification in the technology, third type of PLDs is obtained, that is Field Programmable Gate Array, FPGA. FPGA is ultimate in this technology. Using FPGA, a one IC module can be implemented. Everything will be incorporated into the same IC. FPGAs are also of two types. One is fine grain, another one is the coarse grain. So if you use these technologies, a very good application can be implemented and very good ICs can be obtained. In short, using these programmable logic devices, lot of complexity is reduced, cost is reduced and the speed is increased. That is why most of the electronic devices are becoming cheaper and cheaper day by day. This technology is going to sustain for a very long time, and if you use this, the cost as well as the size is reduced. Thanks a lot.